on the set. One thing we were talking about, Kyler, during the break was the fact that a lot of people thought, he's going to be thinking about playing for the A's. He's going to be thinking about baseball season long. Nope. You proved all those people wrong, didn't you?
Yeah. I always knew what I was capable of. Like many know, I left A&M with a bad taste in my mouth. Obviously, being a top, rated recruit out of high school, you don't envision yourself, struggling early. But I did, and I think it worked out for me. Getting to sit behind Baker and learning from Coach Riley. I definitely wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for the years I spent.
Can you tell America how many games you lost in high school?
It was 0. Lost 0.
0 games in high school. How many state championships?
3.
I heard you were the best player ever coming out. That's the word on the street. And this is from some of my Texas former teammates, Texas guys.
He can't say yes.
He can't say yes. Yeah, he can say yes.
No, he can't say yes.
You are who you are, right?
I try to keep it as humble as possible. Right. I'd like to think my name would be up there as far as Texas high school football goes.
See?
When you say you sat behind Baker and you learned, what's the biggest lesson you learned last year watching Baker Mayfield make his Heisman run?
I don't think it was more so, just something that he was doing. I think it was just observing, the whole thing. The amount of time I sat behind him, you learn a lot, you get to see a lot, and you kind of just take some bits and pieces of what he does and put it in your own game, and just really how he does it. How you succeed on this level.
Leadership.
Yeah, and I mean, in high school the game's a little slower for some people, and then you get to college and for me, it got faster, but, coming to Oklahoma, getting to sit behind him, seeing how he does it at this level, it helped me out a lot.
Have you started watching anything on Alabama's D?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. I need to know. We know what we think about Alabama's D. We know how big and fast they are.
Yeah.
What have you seen so far about Alabama's defense?
Like you said, big and fast. They obviously got a great front four. Great front seven, I should say, actually.
Yeah.
The whole defense. I mean, you got playmakers everywhere, but we got guys too, and I think it'll be a great opportunity for us. It'll be a good competition.
I like it. I can see it in your eyes. You're ready to play.
Well, I don't know though. I don't know if you know this, but that high scoring stuff only works in the Big 12. I don't know if you've heard that. Like,
so they say.
They don't play defense.
Wait a minute, Polly. It was a 54-48 last year.
That's what I was getting at. Come on, man.
My bad.
This is called stirring it up, man. Okay.
My bad. Go ahead.
I mean, but the Big 12 doesn't play any defense, Kyler. I mean, it's a horrible conference. We hear that a lot. I mean,
it's annoying to hear.
You hear that?
I mean, nobody understands. I mean, offensively, you got the SEC doesn't have the pressure of going out there and having to score every time you have the ball. And I mean, for us, I mean, every time you have the ball, you got to score. Or else you're gonna be disappointed at the end of the game because the offenses are that good.
Yep.
And you want to talk about the defense? I mean, nobody sees these offenses. ACC doesn't see these Pac-12. I mean, it's just.
So can you do that against Bama?
Hold on. Slow down. I mean,
okay.
For me, it'll be a good opportunity, a great opportunity, and it'll be fun.
I almost got you. I almost got you.
What's the thinking in the offensive huddles when you know you got to score 45 points, or like the Texas game, for example? Texas comes down and scores. You guys know every time you go out there, you got to score points.
Yeah, short-term memory. Honestly, just knowing, we don't really care too much about what they do. It's just the standard around here. Every time we touch the ball, we expect to score. Don't like kicking field goals, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, every time we touch the ball, we expect to score, and that's just what it is.
Coming into this season, you signed with MLB.
Yeah.
Top 10 pick. Was one of your goals when you met with coaches and when you thought about this, was it to go to New York? Was that one of your goals?
Some of the Heisman?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I've envisioned. This is something I've dreamed of ever since I was a kid growing up. You watch the greats play, and I've been a fan and loved the game of football my whole life. So. This is part of it. I always felt like, I could be here, and, I've been confident in myself, with God behind me, my family, my teammates. It's been a great season. So.
Who are your favorite players growing up? You pattern your game after anybody? Did you see somebody play? Did you say, hey, I think I can play kind of like that guy?
I was actually a Florida fan growing up. I was a big Tim Tebow guy, Percy Harvin, all those guys. But
Percy.
Yeah, but I mean,
he moves more like Percy.
that was my team growing up. But no, there's tons of guys. I mean, Mike Vick.
That's the first one that came to mind. Mike Vick.
Love watching Russ on Sundays. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I mean, all those guys. They're great.
So, Kyler, give me the situation Give me the scenario that gets you playing on Sundays.
You're trying to set me up. I don't know.
Can we get some backdrop? He was already a top 10 pick. He already makes more money than his coach, by the way. I'm just saying. He makes more money than Lincoln Riley. Just saying, that's a nice problem to have. I mean, it's
okay, but
why?
Wait, just
why
think about
get pounded on?
You want to know why?
Kyler
Murray, would you like to play now? Forget baseball for a second.
To answer your question, I mean, why? I mean, I'm a competitor.
See? Exactly.
I'm not into the, getting beat up type, the argument of not getting hit and being safe and all that stuff. I mean, you watch me play. I try to stay as safe as possible, no matter what. But
have you ever heard of guaranteed money, though?
I understand. Yeah, I understand. I mean,
Mike Thompson's about to get 10 years for $360 million.
Hold on. I mean, he's earned that.
Yes.
It wasn't quick.
No.
You got to play your way to it.
Tell me, what's the situation? What's the scenario?
As of now, I'm going to play baseball. That's what it is.
See?
He's in Atlanta. Maybe you'll run into Dion around here, and he'll talk about the days.
Someone needs to talk about
He's going to steal 40, 50 bases a year. He's going to be all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right. We already know. He'll be laughing at us.
Good luck in the playoff, Colin. Thanks for joining us, my man. Congratulations on a great night. Much more to come here on our post-game show. Great night here on the red carpet. Jerry Jeudy making his appearance for Alabama. What a great year he had. Christian Wilkins had a couple of great years in that great defensive line at Clemson. Got the beard working, the tuxedo.
I didn't know we were allowed to show big boys. I didn't know we were show line.
Championship drive path to the playoff presented by AT&T. Tonight's Maxwell Award winner, Tua Tagovailoa, is here. And Tua's got the boot on. I know.
The toughness.
Tua walked up and he said, "Can I get something to rest my foot on?" And 30 people scrambled around out there trying to find a box and whatnot. It's amazing. But boy, you know what? Are you getting stimulation on that too? You've got a little box over here.
Got a little stem unit going right here. So
how you feeling?
Feel a lot better.
You feel a lot better. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to walk up here and join us. You just heard from Kyler, and we had Gardner up here as well. You guys are in a fraternity here with quarterbacks, so it was great seeing the way you were able to interact with Kyler and talk with him. That's got to be pretty nice.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, he's a great person. I got to meet him first. When I just got here at the hotel. I mean, he's a great person. You can tell that he's been raised within a great family as well, so all around great person.
When you think about coming into the season, a lot of people saw the national championship and the second half anyways, and you had a lot of hype, you had a lot of talk about your game. What did you really want to work on coming into the season that you knew that would take Alabama to this level?
First read?
Well, it depends on if we're taking a shot play. Every play has different movement keys. And when it is a shot play, that is our mentality. It's touchdown to check down. So we go touchdown, then we work back down to our progressions. And luckily, I have guys that can get open. I have guys that can get open.
So that's in practice. You're going touchdown to check down.
Yes,
wow.
That's pretty solid.
That's awesome.
And you think about the receivers that Alabama's put into the NFL over the past few years. This was kind of a year where I looked at that receiving core and thought, "Where's the NFL guy in this receiving core?" And
then you found six.
Yeah, you got a bunch of them. That guy.
The other one that's sitting over there too.
He's got a trophy. Judy, come here.
Judy's got a trophy back there that he just won. But you knew that. I'm sure you knew that all along, working with these guys last spring and here in the summer. You knew you were going to have a good receiving core, didn't you?
Most definitely. Yes, sir.
Herb Smith. I mean, it goes on and on, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. I mean, I've said this before. It's like a kid in a candy shop. You can go to the right. You can get whatever candy you want. Go to the left. Get whatever candy you want. I mean, I think it's every quarterback's dream to be in an offense like this with players like that surrounding you.
When did you know this offense was going to be special? Because what we've seen is unreal. We've never seen this from Alabama, period. It was unheard of. When did you know that this offense was going to be special?
I thought we were special even within last year's season. Even in practice, when I'd see our guys going against our first-team defense, I mean, they'd be doing things no other team I'd see offensively doing against, our defense. So, I definitely think it started last year with realizing that we could be really special.
Well, take me to the Georgia game. Georgia game was the toughest game of the season for y'all. We didn't even watch a game that was competitive for you guys, and you guys made it boring for us for all of football season. I know it wasn't boring for y'all, but it gets boring for us. Newsflash. What happened in that game? What did they do that limited what you've been able to do throughout the season so far?
I'd like to say first off, they're a really great team, really great front seven, really great secondaries as well. You know, when you're coming into a championship game and it's in the SEC, you gotta understand that it's gonna be a 15-round fight. You know, but quite frankly, I didn't get the lucky end of the stick. You know, with how things went. I think the third or the fourth play within the first series.
You got tackled going to your right?
Yeah.
Right before the interception?
They kind of tweaked it the first time.
Yeah. That's when things went kind of bad for me. And, you know, we went into the medical tent and, you know, they gave me a little medical analysis, you know, on, you know, whether I could go out or not. And, you know, I made the executive decision that I wanted to go out, you know, and finish, you know, and I didn't think it would have been fair for me to just call it a day or just say I throw in the towel, you know, because of the amount of hard work that I put in with my brothers as well.
Okay, well, now talk about this, too. End of the season last year, same building. We saw you come off the bench and make something historic happen. How cool was it for Jalen to come in there and have success? We can tell, man. You can tell when it's fake and when it's genuine. You guys literally look happy for each other on both sides. So how cool was it for him to come in and have some success like that and help you guys win?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. You know, what happened that night was a movie.
It's going to be a movie for sure.
You couldn't write the script any better.
You could not write the script any better because what happened last year was almost the epitome of what just happened this past game. You know, and for Jalen to have got his opportunity as well, it's amazing. You know, for someone who sticks it out like that with us, knowing that he's been the SEC Player of the Year. He's been the man for Alabama this entire time. You know, he could have left. He could have went anywhere.
Right.
You know, but for him to have stuck it out with us, you know, I definitely think he's earned so much respect throughout not only our team, not only our fan base, but throughout the entire country. You know, and I definitely give Jalen props for that, and you know, I definitely give his family props for that. So.
Well, Alabama fans watching are saying, all right, we've got a chance to hear it too. And now let him go so we can rest that leg for the love of Pete.
It's not elevated. We got to stimulate the elevator.
Tua, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Mattress, the whole
Best of luck in the playoff coming up and at the Heisman Award ceremony as well.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, it's always about the red carpet here and legendary coaches on the wall. And Dabo certainly plays to the crowd, doesn't he?
Bring your guts.
A lot of Clemson fans here tonight.
He's left-handed. Did y'all know
Goodyear
that?
Cotton Bowl Classic.
Presented by AT&T.
Let's talk Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Clemson and Notre Dame. Tigers are back. You know, we knew this defensive line was going to be awesome, Vilma, and they just certainly were that. But we didn't know about the quarterback situation. Was it going to be Kelly Bryant's all year? It wasn't. Trevor Lawrence took over, and he did well.
Great decision by Dabo Swinney.
Yeah.
I actually questioned the decision early on. It wasn't the best start, and then Trevor Lawrence proved why he was clearly a better quarterback, more accurate, better deep ball. The run game, not so much, but it's not necessary when you got Travis Etienne back there anyway.
And that great defensive front. Christian Wilkins is with Marty Smith.
Here with Clemson defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. Should I call you the great Christian Wilkins again like I did earlier?
No, you don't got to do that. Just Christian Wilkins is fine, you know. No.
All right, let's talk Cotton Bowl. As you've studied Notre Dame, what do you see from those guys?
Well, this is a really good team. I mean, there's a reason they're in the college football playoff. You know, they're clearly one of the best 4 teams, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the committee as well. You know, they present a lot of challenges for us on both sides of the ball and even special teams. They're really talented everywhere. I mean, their offensive line is really strong. They run the ball really well. They throw the ball really well. They just, you know, there's really not too many weaknesses with them. So really, we're just gonna have to prepare real hard, and it all comes down to execution on game day. So.
How much of your return to Clemson this season was due to unfinished business?
Well, I mean, just more of the opportunity to grow as a man, as a leader, and as a football player. Not so much unfinished business, you know, because then that's. I mean, I don't like to get too wrapped up in that, you know, because then I feel like, you know, your mindset isn't where to be. I'm just trying to enjoy the moment, really, you know, just put an exclamation mark on my college career.
We wish you well in it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Guys.
Oh, it's good to see big boys getting
Thanks, y'all. Cleared out in a hurry here behind us. Usually folks stick around and get their picture taken with you, DC, but not this year around. Everyone said, I've had it.
Well,
had it with that guy.
The good thing is you have like 4, 5, 6 Clemson players to choose from to get awards. Christian Wilkins, that defensive line that we all knew they came back, and all of them ranked on McShay's board of being first round, second round guys. That's pretty impressive.
They didn't disappoint either.
No, they haven't, and they'll have their work cut out for them. If we're going to see this team finish, this defensive line has been filthy. I mean, they've done a great job, and they play off each other. I mean, who do you pick to single team? Who do you pick to double team? It's just pick your poison. It really is, and they're going to have to play great up front. And it starts on the inside, but they all help each other. They do a good job. Who are you going to double team? Look at Big Dexter. He is the animal inside that really sets the tone. Number 90. You see him making a play. Okay, we're going to make sure we get to number 90. We're going to make sure we're double team. Okay, we'll leave Christian Wilkins on an island by himself. No, sir. You lose. That's the name of the game. So now, how do you defend it? I think when you get him in third down situations, passing situations, look at this boy coming off the edge. Colin Farrell is one of the best at what he does. His first step is so quick, gets that outside hand really quickly with a chop, gets to the quarterback. So, it's just Austin Bryant we didn't mention, but he's another guy that can get to the QB. This is the staple of this team. This is where it all starts, is Clemson's defensive line.
I wonder whether this Notre Dame offense, though, is getting the respect that they deserve. Because, I mean, maybe it's the schedule. Maybe because Dexter Williams comes back, and he's fantastic at that tailback spot. Ian Book takes over, and he's fantastic and dynamic. He gives them both a run-pass option. I hear what you're saying about Clemson defensively, but can Notre Dame really give them something? Because I don't know if we're giving them the respect they deserve.
Well, first we should say Clemson D-line deserves all the respect because they came in with the hype and they lived up to expectation. On the other side, Dexter Williams is another Travis Etienne. He is just as explosive. He is a home run hitter, and when he gets north and south, no one's catching him. It's bye-bye, and he's going to be the reason that Notre Dame can set the tempo against that Clemson defensive line. When you watch Dexter Williams, you watch the offensive line, they don't need to block for too long. They don't need to block everyone. He can make a guy miss, or he can run through a tackler. You watch here, make a miss, run through it, keeps his balance, and then he's off to the races.
About 2 inches off the ground.
That's awesome. That's the athleticism that he has. So he's making the Notre Dame offensive line look good. They're going to pull around. They're going to get 1 for 1. And as we said, all he needs is just a little seam, a little crease. And then when he gets out there, it's a home run. So the challenge is really going to be for the Clemson secondary, the safeties, to come up and tackle, because if they don't make the tackle, it's a touchdown.
Similarly, on the other side of the football, I mean, I think the big matchup that we're going to talk most about leading up to this game at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic is going to be that Clemson defense, Notre Dame offense. But what about the flip side? I mean, Trevor Lawrence, this Clemson offense has been unstoppable over the last 2 months of the season.
It's been great, and they know who they are. They're a tempo team. They're a zone team. That's just who they are. And the interesting thing about this matchup is Notre Dame, you go back and watch that USC game, they want to play soft. They're not a press team. They are not giving up the big play. They caused a couple fumbles, but they struggle with USC's speed and athleticism. Clemson's got some speed and athleticism. It's not just Etienne. You can go across the board at wideout. And Trevor Lawrence, this dude makes 18-yard comebacks look like slants. And this is the one thing we're going to see in the playoffs. He's a lot more athletic than you think. He's a long strider. He's a fast guy. But that's what this offense missed with Kelly Bryant. The deep shots down the field. Rolling out, doing that garbage, that's not human, by the way. I mean, squaring the shoulders and throwing BBs. It'll be interesting how Notre Dame chooses to play it. And if the true freshman can stay patient and take what you give, don't go down. You don't have to go down the field and get those big plays, because Notre Dame is going to be a bend but don't break D.
And that's what I think Notre Dame's going to do. Because they are bend, don't break, they're going to say, all right, we're going to back up. And we're going to let you have the little bubble screens outside. We'll run up and tackle those. Those will be 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. At some point, you're going to want to show off your arm, Trevor Lawrence. At some point, you're going to want to throw that 7 route. Or you're going to want to throw that deep ball and show everybody how awesome your arm is. And if you do that and we're backed up, that can be the turnovers. That can be the situation. Now, if Trevor Lawrence stays patient and they continue to run the ball, it could be a long day for Notre Dame. It may not be a high-scoring game, but it'll be a long day for them with that bend-don't-break defense.
All right, we still got a lot to get to here on Championship Drive.
Yeah, almost done. I don't know what you're talking about.
Almost done.
You might have a lot to do.
SportsCenter's coming up at 11 o'clock. Who has the edge in the Heisman race? You might want to take some of our snippets from our conversation that you guys.
Speaking of Heisman, somebody that should have won one, Deshaun Watson.
Peyton Manning on Deshaun Watson's success and how the Bucs have emerged as big-time contenders with the Greek Freak. It's on ESPN and streaming live tonight on 11 o'clock. Marty and McGee coming up next. Going to join us with a discussion about the Heisman Trophy, and then Chris Fowler
is presented by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
He had one wish, and that was for Purdue to upset Ohio State and for him to be here to see it.
And that's intercepted. Marcus Bailey, touchdown, Boilermakers.
They will all say, Tyler, this one is for you. Thank you.
Tyler Trent was here tonight, winner of the Spirit Award. Go to v.org/Tyler Trent. It's Jimmy V Week here at ESPN to donate to the cause. He spoke with Tom Rinaldi earlier on this evening.
You've become a symbol in the brave fight and the courage against cancer. You have some special sneakers on tonight, given to you by a very special person. Would you very quickly say where those sneakers come from?
The Craig Sager shoes, given to me by Stacy Sager.
Stacy, who's here tonight. Craig Sager, of course, the great sportscaster and beloved by everybody in the NBA. All the sports you've touched. So if I could get the indulgence of this hall for someone for whom team means so much, if we might ask everyone who considers themselves to be on your team tonight to one more time stand up and show the support and love and courage to Tyler Trent.
Poignant moment on the night. Tyler Trent, recipient of the Spirit Award. That was David Blau, the Purdue quarterback that was on the stage with Tyler and Tom Rinaldi after the show on the red carpet. Everyone wanted to meet Tyler, including Coach Mike Gundy. Having a word with him. Mark Stoops rather, was there with him as well. Kentucky coach.
This kid's awesome.
Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma. Everybody having a word with Tyler Trent. That was a great moment. Marty Smith, Ryan McGee here with us, guys. Good to see you. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, and a long standing ovation for Tyler tonight. That was fun.
Yeah, and this is the only time that all of these superstars from all these teams from around the country are in the same place at the same time, and yet you saw it right there. It was right outside this door, outside this theater, and Tyler was right there to the left, and everybody was lined up to see him. It was his night. For all the stars and all the talk about what awards did come and the ones, this was really his night tonight. And the room, the mood in this room was incredible.
When he and his parents, Ryan and I had the great blessing of interviewing all these great players on the red carpet before the main show tonight. And when Tyler came in with his parents, I leaned down to him and I just thanked him for perspective. Because in this life, we get so caught up in frivolity. We get caught up in stupid things like Twitter and whatnot and bickering with one another about things that just are not important. And he is such a wonderful champion for all of us to remember that we are so blessed and have perspective. He is a warrior, and he is an inspiration to me.
Yeah, I think having David Blau here, too, said many of the same things, Lamar, that you were just talking about on the stage, about how he's a true Boilermaker and how he exemplifies everything that everybody there at Purdue wants to be. But we had a number of Heisman Trophy candidates here tonight, including Tua and Kyler, and both of them were able to speak with Chris Fowler earlier on in the night. Let's hear a little bit of that.
You can control how you play, but you can't control how others view it and how they vote. How does wanting to win something like the Heisman for your family, for your teammates, contribute to the anxiety in the lead up to it?
All you can do is control how you go out there and play. We can't, control who votes for who, worry about any of that, because you start worrying about that, and that's not the main focus. The main focus is to lead your team, and at the end of the day, get a win.
I think when you do something that you love, for us, is playing football. I don't think there's any anxiety, and I think your family understands that as well. You're just going out there, representing your family the best you can with how you play and how you go about doing your business. So I wouldn't say, from my standpoint, that there's no anxiety, going into trying to win an award or whatnot. We just go out there, and I believe we both just go out there and have fun.
Let's take a look at From Plan to Play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. And Jalen Hurts always had to be ready, and he got his opportunity in the SEC championship game against Georgia, scoring not once but twice, one with his arm and one with his leg, to seal the win. There was Tua, obviously celebrating with his teammates the victory, and but it begs to ask the question now, what does that do to his Heisman chances with the fact that his moment, maybe his biggest moment of the year, because he didn't play very often in the fourth quarter, and he wasn't in there. It was Jalen Hurts that was getting it done.
I think it did hurt his Heisman chances. I always had Kyler Murray very close with Tua, even throughout the season when Tua was playing outstanding football. Kyler Murray was very consistent, and he was actually more important than Tua was to Oklahoma than Tua was to Alabama. And then when Kyler Murray kept ascending, Tua was descending, and not by a lot, but it was just where we said, well, there is a little bit that he's vulnerable in with the passing game, holding the ball a little too long at times, looking for the deep ball a little too much. Yet Kyler Murray was still very electric. He was very exciting to watch, and he still willed his team to win. So I think that last matchup between Georgia, Alabama, Kyler and Tua, Kyler won.
It matters. I mean, how you finish matters. We've seen so many September Heismans crash and burn, and every year we do it. I think we crown people early, and it changes, and I don't think this year is any different. Now, I think both sides of the argument. I think you can make the case for Kyler Murray, and you can say Kyler lit it up, and he did every single week in a system that's unbelievably great in a league that it's also very easy to do it. I mean, I think one thing we lose perspective a little bit on, Tua is doing this against the best defenses in the country, and it's harder to do. And we forget, too, sometimes that he put up video game numbers in the season and just sat back and chilled. But first of all, both these guys, and Dwayne Haskins, all very deserving candidates to be there. I'm glad they're in New York, but it's going to be a bass or a treble guy. What kind of guy are you? You like the bass or you like the treble? Because both guys, they're very deserving.
What kind of guy are you, Marty?
They're both so deserving, and so is Dwayne, for that matter. Having had the opportunity to cover all three of these young men this year extensively and do features on all three of them, it's hard to make a choice, and we're both Heisman voters, and so it's difficult to really expound too much because they don't let us on
I'm a Heisman voter too, so go.
Our choices.
Go ahead.
I really like what Pollack just said, and that is Tua's video game numbers are against the best defensive players in America every single week. And I don't like the argument that he lost ground in the SEC championship game. Did he play well? No, he did not. But he also blew up his ankle on the first drive of the game, and nobody's mentioning that.
Yeah.
Nobody's mentioning, he threw a pick down the middle of the field, but nobody's talking about the fact that he couldn't push off and throw the football.
I think the best thing about it is that it is a three-horse race still going into Saturday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. And on the ESPN app. Let's take a look at our Capital One Bowl Mania preview. As you look at some of the nearest 6 bowls, what do you think about this right here when you talk about Texas and Georgia? The Cotton Bowl, or the All-State Sugar Bowl, rather, on January 1st.
Pick one, dude. These are all awesome.
No, LSU, UCF, listen, all right, so UCF, and I argued all along, if the committee was ever going to do it, this was the time to do it. They'll never have another chance. If they put it in there now, they got 10 years, we don't have to listen to that argument anymore. But UCF has so much to prove. And there's LSU, which is a program that has made its living out of backing themselves out of a corner. And so you put those two in a place at one time, I'm all for that. And by the way, Kyler Murray, I've been wearing him out all year. I saw him in person at Texas Tech.
You know that.
He is Charlie Ward, but he's faster and with a much better arm. He makes it look too easy.